Sports Podcast. We dive deep, talking ball games from NFL to the NBA League. Athletes talking coaches, strategizing. Every episode, we bring you the latest. From soccer fields to tennis courts so vast. We cover every sport night and day fast. Hear the stories, the wins, the losses too. Our passions for sports, no matter the crew. MackTruck Sports, where the talk never ends. From the big leagues to the little friends. Get ready for the ride, we're just getting started. MackTruck Sports, let's make this.
Good afternoon. We're back. It's Thursday, July 31st, 2025 here on the MackTruck podcast. Thank you for joining me this evening. My name is Mackenzie Brooks, a.k.a. TheeMackTruck, a.k.a. your worst nightmare. We're back again talking sports because that's what we do. This show is presented to you by none other than the Tired Sports Network, along and coupled with Cumulus Media Des Moines Podcast Network. I'm glad to be here with you today. It's kind of hot now, not gonna lie, kind of hot. Hate it. In fact, my back fat's sweating. Ain't got time for that. Well, we got a short docket for you today, and excuse me, I gotta drink my Vernors because, like, I'm a Vernors girl. And, like, my throat be dry, got off work late. Listen, life been lifing. Today especially, listen, not gonna be able to do it, okay? Adulting also blows. Just gonna throw that out there. And any one of you mugs out here who try to tell me that y'all are fans of adulting or whatever that looks like, you're lying. You're lying. That's a thing. You can't actually enjoy adulting. I don't know any normal human being that does. Okay. So yeah, that's not a thing. Like I said, we got a short docket for you today. Just gonna go over some WNBA recap in terms of our games from last night, as well as going to talk about the Clarissa Shields, Lonnie Daniels fight, and some of the controversy that is happening between Clarissa Shields and boxing great that is Layla Ali, in terms of their beef that they've had for I don't know how many years, and I have a lot to say about that. Also going to get into the firing of Shannon Sharp from the Entertainment and Sports Programming Network, better known as ESPN. I'm also going to go over a little bit of the Gilbert Arenas arrest and the alleged allegations against him in terms of the illegal poker ring that he has been a suspect in, or named suspect in, rather. Also going to go over the fact that we have NFL football tonight, okay? We have NFL football tonight, folks. And listen, when I tell you, I am excited. Don't care if it's only a Hall of Fame game. I mean, could really do without the fact that it's the Detroit Lions. But, like, there's a reason I said that. Either way, we have NFL football tonight. We have one WNBA game. We got all kinds of stuff. I'm also going to go over the docket for the next show, so let's get started. Got a short quote of the day, and it's by me. By me, and it's quite literally this. Be yourself and no one else. It's very cliche, but literally, the only person you can be is yourself. Because at the end of the day, the only person you can trust to get things done is yourself. That's just the way the cookie crumbles. Listen, I mean, I make the rules, but not the ones of adulting. So I'm just going to throw that out there. But it's better to try to be yourself rather than to try to conform to the thoughts and opinions and expressions of other people. Who gives a damn what people think about you? Because I surely do not. Just going to throw that out there right now. But we're going to get into it again. Like I said, this broadcast is brought to you by the Tired Sports Network, as well as the Cumulus Media Des Moines Podcast Network. Make sure you are following both on social media. Make sure you are listening and following all the shows in the Cumulus Des Moines Podcast Network, as well as the Tired Sports Network circle of shows. The WNBA was played last night, folks. Just to throw that out there. WNBA was played last night. And it was a banger across the board. And this is what we love. Again, every time we come on here, every time we're, talking sports, going over really anything, we have to talk the WNBA. Because it's the summertime, and that's when the WNBA is prominent, and that, all of the things. So, let's get into it. I got to start with the Indiana Fever. Okay, got to start with the Indiana Fever. The Indiana Fever have been on a tear since the All-Star break. Caitlin Clark is still out, but now she is slowly getting back into practices and all the things. And now they are making sure she gets ample enough time to get her shot back, her rhythm back, all the things. So, like, I'm here for it. Like, let's not rush the girl. I mean, we have Ari McDonald, we have Aaliyah Boston, Kelsey Mitchell, Lexi Hull, the team bodyguard that is Sophie Cunningham, okay, Demiris Dantas, okay, KK Timpson. Like, we're set right now. For those of you who missed the game last night, the Phoenix Mercury came to Bainbridge Fieldhouse, rather, okay, to play the Indiana Fever. And for those of you who have been following the WNBA, there is a player who is now back with her originated team that is DeWanna Bonner and the Phoenix Mercury. The Phoenix Mercury, again, came into Bainbridge Fieldhouse to play a basketball game. A very well-played basketball game, mind you. They still lost, and we'll get into the scores and stats here soon. DeWanna Bonner, folks, was booed inside of Bainbridge Fieldhouse. And frankly, I don't blame them. And also, for all y'all fools out here that are like, oh, it's so disrespectful, welcome to the freaking world of sports, okay? Welcome to the world of sports where the word fan means fanatic or fandom, which literally means insanity. Like, that's what that means. Like, if you are a fan of something, you are a fanatic. That means you have an obsession, and most of the time a healthy obsession with whatever it is, whether you're a sports fan, music fan, entertainment fan, it doesn't matter. You are a fan, you are a fanatic, you are a spectator of such a thing. So when people and professionals come out here and go, oh, it's so disrespectful to boo DeWanna Bonner because she's a legend. I don't give a damn if she's a legend. You left the team that you literally were a free agent, got picked up by Indiana, came in thinking that you should be a starter because you're a legend and a Hall of Famer, which you are, and there's nothing but respect there. But don't think just because you have a lot of veteranship, you can come in and automatically get a starting spot. That's not how that works. That's not how sports works. That is not at all how sports work. Like, you don't go into a new place thinking that you're just going to take over the reins unless that new place is literally bone dry and you are the thing that they are building around. That's not really how that goes. And I really wish DeWanna Bonner would have stayed, but because she was like, oh, I'm not going to be a starter, so I'm going to throw a fucking fit. Like, maybe don't do that. Maybe don't throw a fit, and maybe, like, talk to your coaches and outplay Aaliyah Boston, you outplay Demiris Dantas, you outplay KK Timpson to get that second or third spot on the starting five, or that first spot off the bench as far as the starting 6 or 7. Like, let's be a little bit more mindful. But in the other respect, I don't blame her for going back to where she came from in terms of, like, going back to the team that she knows, going back to the offense she knows, going back to the atmosphere she knows, where she knows that she's going to be able to step on the court as a starter. She got booed. Kalia Copper made a crazy comment, and this is really more or less what I'm talking about right now in this very second. She literally was like, it was so disrespectful. She said it was disrespectful. She's a legend. Okay. Michael Jordan got booed. LeBron James still to this day is getting booed. Serena Williams has gotten booed. Okay. Like, every and any athlete that has any kind of upper echelon in any way, shape, or form has gotten booed in some aspect. Like, let's just, like, remember that nobody is immune to getting criticized, whether it's sports, life, entertainment, adulting, the Grand Poobah, Winnie the Pooh, Disney. It don't matter. It don't matter. Nobody is immune to getting criticized or getting booed, because the decisions people make, whether you're an athlete, whatever, is not always going to be favorable. It's not always going to be favorable. And I really wish people would understand that. I really, especially like players, like you are literally playing your sport or doing whatever it is for money. That is your job. Some of us wish that we could get to a point to where we could say, oh, I'm living out my love and passion and it's my job. Like, let's not get too upset because people are booing us. Like, now we're going to start walking around thinking that we aren't, we are susceptible rather to being criticized or being booed, or, our decisions not affecting other people. And they do. That's why you got booed. You left and got booed. Now, fun fact, the Indiana Fever have worn these cool jerseys, these Stranger Thing, the show Stranger Things, the Stranger Things edition of these WNBA uniforms. They're like undefeated in these uniforms. Need them to keep wearing these uniforms, okay? And they just look sick. They just look sick. Love it here. Anyway, we're going to get into the stats here. Phoenix Mercury did come into Gainbridge Fieldhouse and drop this one by 6 points, 101-107 in favor of the Indiana Fever. Okay, I'm here for it. You're here for it. Obviously, because I'm a Fever fan, I'm a little biased, but the WNBA is a good product, folks. Like, the WNBA is good basketball. No, it's not always flashy and dunks and, all the things we see in the NBA type of things, but it is still good basketball. You still get the chippiness, you still get the high intensity in terms of the game. You also get a little bit better fundamentals because a good portion of the league isn't 6'7", isn't 6'6", and can't dunk, the two-hand jam and all the things. So, like, again, just like we talked about yesterday, if you're going off of the sport itself, you're watching for the sport. You're watching for whether differences in each side of the sport, whatever that looks like. You're watching because it's entertaining. You're watching because you're excited for the athletic product, and that's what we're going to talk about. Alyssa Thomas drops 32 points, goes 19 for 22 from the field, and goes 4 for 5 from the free throw line. So just about 90%. Ari McDonald. Okay, I don't know how much more I can express what she has just added to the roster of the Indiana Fever. Okay, she's a small point guard, very agile, will take contact, loves to take contact, will shoot your lights out, and is a freaking A1 passer and assister. She cares more about distributing the ball and making sure her teammates are getting open to have those opportunities to score rather than just trying to score herself. But last night's game was a little bit different. Ari McDonald dropped 27 points, goes 7-11 from the field, and goes 100% from the free throw line at 10 for 10. Okay. Obviously, if I'm going to the free throw line more than 5 times, it's a chippy game across the board. It's a very close game across the board. Again, like I said, 101-107, 6-point drop, and not in favor of the Phoenix Mercury. So listen, and I will say this till I'm blue in the damn face, as always. Okay, just because you are a professional athlete and you have all these accolades does not mean you are not susceptible to criticism. Does not mean you are not susceptible to people's fandom. Does not mean you are not susceptible to having people's opinions, placed on you in one way, shape, or form. You get paid to play sports. I'm not going to say shut up and play because I don't believe in that. I believe in everybody should have their own platform and way of expressing and all the things. But what we're not going to do, we're not going to sit here and just be like, oh, because this person is a legend, they don't need to be booed. No, you left the team. You are basically a quitter, at least in terms of quitting the Indiana Fever. Like, let's grow up. Let's grow up. And again, I see, everybody in the TikTok chat. Thank you for joining me. I see everybody on the comments on Facebook and YouTube and all things. I appreciate it. Welcome back again. You are watching and listening, viewing another edition of the MackTruck podcast presented to you by the Tire Sports Network and Cumulus Media Des Moines Podcast Network. My name is Mackenzie Brooks. On a Thursday afternoon in Des Moines, Iowa, well, Thursday evening rather. But we're still here talking sports. Just got done. I'm going over the stats for the Indiana Fever. Okay, and listen, like I can't even front. I really like the Atlanta Dream. I'm not even gonna sit here and try to pretend that I don't, because I do. The Atlanta Dream are like my number 3 team that I thoroughly pay attention to. Even though Ryan Howard has been struggling, with injuries. I mean, you still have BG under the basket. BG is a force to be reckoned with. Okay, Naz Hillman also a force to be reckoned with. Like, it's just good basketball. Like, if you are a baller, basketball is basketball, folks. Like, and I really wish there were just more neutralized sports fans as far as like, oh, I'm here for the basketball. I'm here for the football in any capacity, whatever that looks like. And this game, in terms of the Dallas Wings and the Atlanta Dream, fantastic. The Atlanta Dream pulled off by 3 in Dallas, 88-85. Naz Hillman, 21 points, goes 7 for 9 from the field and goes 2 for 2 at 100% from the free throw line. Paige Buckets, 21 points, 8 for 20 from the field, and again 2 for 2 at 100% from the free throw line. Listen, I love Paige Buckers. I do. I don't like the fact that, like, she's not playing for a team that I follow consistently. But I love Paige Beckers. I love her game, and I love how tenacious she is. Listen, and I'm going to stop for just a second. Can anybody physically picture a world in the WNBA where you have a Caitlin Clark, you have a Paige Beckers, you have a Kate Martin, you have like a Kiki Iriafen, and a Cameron Brink, or something to that effect in terms of like a TJ, basically a WNBA team filled with nothing but sharpshooters and bucket getters and rebound getters from the past two drafts. That would be insanity. That would be insanity. And I almost kind of pray for it. Not gonna lie. Hoping and praying and wishing all the things, because as the league starts to grow, you are more than likely going to start to see something like that. I mean, you kind of already seen it with the Golden State Valkyries in terms of the expansion draft. You know, they pick up Kate Martin from the Aces, got drafted to the Aces last year. Pick up a Timmy Bentley, who played awesome minutes for the Fever in 2024. Okay, you also have a Caitlin Chen, who is essentially the Kate Martin of the 2025 draft. She wasn't expected to get drafted and ended up getting drafted to the Golden State Valkyries. You have a Mo Billings, you have a Kayla Thornton. I mean, like, that Golden State team has been giving people nightmares all season, including the Indiana Fever, who have enough talent within themselves. And you're just like, you have two different teams with very similar talent, and one team is brand spanking new to the league, like they're literally in its first inaugural season in the WNBA as now the 13th team to do that. Then you have to think about the fact that the Toronto Tempo are coming in 2026, and the Portland Fire are coming in 2026. That will be teams 14 and 15 for 2026. Then you think about the Cleveland Rockers coming back in 2027, and then the Detroit Shock is coming back in 2028, 2029. So that brings it just to roughly under 20 teams, and an expansion of the WNBA, where they're essentially re-expanding, because, you know, if you know the history of the WNBA, you know that they originally started with a handful of teams. Some of the teams that are still in insemination right now, or in installment right now, rather, from the start of the WNBA to 2025, some of those original teams are still on the court today. Some of the original teams got disbanded due to having to try to grow the market into bigger cities. Like Houston Comets are not in this tournament, which I think is a very large mistake. Frankly, I don't even want to get started on it until we start to get more into like towards the end of the WNBA season, all the things. So like, the league is growing. The game also grows when the league grows. The league grows when the game grows. Like, now we're seeing more different, like, or more people taking shots other places outside of the positions that they are slated to play. And it's great to see. Either way, we're moving on into the next game, a recap here on the MackTruck podcast for your WNBA recap here on Thursday's show. Okay? Had a finals matchup last night, guys. Or rematch, rather. The New York Liberty go in to the Target Center and play Natisha Hyman and Courtney Williams, okay, and big Nafisa Collier, and end up losing 93-100 in favor of the Minnesota Lynx. Now, listen, I'm a little biased because I love me some Sabrina Ionescu, love me some Jonquel Jones. And I'm more of a player fan than I am a team fan. Like, obviously, my favorite team is the Indiana Fever, but I follow a lot of athletes from different schools, different walks of life, and I don't necessarily watch their team, but I will watch a game of their team for specific players. So when I tell you, like, this game caught my eye with Nafisa Collier, Natisha Hyman, Courtney Williams, you know, Sabrina Ionescu, Stewie, Jonquel Jones, you know, I mean, like, I could keep going. Like, the game itself was a spectacle. It was literally a rematch from the WNBA Finals last year. And if you missed the WNBA Finals last year, the New York Liberty defeated the Minnesota Lynx in the WNBA Finals series and are the current reigning WNBA champions for 2024 going into 2025 season. And obviously, we haven't quite hit the playoff mark yet in terms of playoff brackets and things being set. But anything can happen. We still have a lot of regular season to go. That's the scary part about this whole thing. But the fact that we had a matchup of another very single-digit differentiating factor, rather, when it comes to this 93, 100 is not surprising to me at all. Because this is exactly how the championship series went last year. Like, quite literally. Either way, Sabrina Nescu, 31 points, goes 11 for 20 from the field, and it goes 6 for 8 from the free throw line. Nafisa Collier, 30 points, goes 11 for 16 from the field, and goes 6 for 9 from the free throw line. Now, listen, I'm gonna tell you this right now. If Nafisa Collier don't get Defensive Player of the Year, I'm gonna be very, very hot. I'm gonna be very angry because all that woman does is put people on the block list. I'm talking block here, block there, SWAT central there, get that ball out of here, over there. Like, listen, the girl is just out here like on a whole escalator, elevator, just like she's swatting balls and taking things away from people like there's flies in her house. Okay, I'm here for it. Frankly, I'm here for it. You love to see it, and if you don't, then I don't know what you're watching basketball for, let alone the WNBA, because it's WNBA season. But, we love to see it, and we love to talk about it. So that's what we're going to do, is we're going to keep talking about it, because the show is literally sports from a women's perspective. That's what it is. We talk a lot of women's sports. We talk a lot of normal sports. We talk a lot of men's sports. It don't matter. Sports are sports, and again, I believe they should have no gender, but unfortunately, with the society we live in, that's just not a thing. So that's why we come to my show to talk about neutral things. Anywho, we do have a game tonight. The Golden State Valkyries, who are just under 500 at 12 wins and 13 losses, go into the Washington Mystics court, who are sitting at 500 at 13 wins and 13 losses. At 16:30 or 18:30 rather, that's 6:30 Central Standard Time on Prime Video. Washington is a 4.5 point favorite, and Golden State is plus 160 on the money line for those of you who like to bet. So put your money on Golden State, but if you're putting it on the point spread, it's 4.5 in favor currently of the Washington Mystics. And like I said, I'm here for it. I mean, I don't really know what else to say. I don't know how else to express it. Rather, I'm for it. Love it here. I'm gonna also say this. I just love sports so much. I needed you guys to know that. I love sports so much, and I'm glad that you're here joining me on the MackTruck podcast. And again, I appreciate you guys popping in. Thank you so much for joining us. If you're just joining us on the TikTok stream, hi, how you doing? Thank you guys for coming in. Thank you guys for coming in here on YouTube, TikTok, StreamYard, all the things, Facebook feed. I'm here, you're here. We're talking sports on a Thursday night. This part of the show is brought to you by In My Bag Apparel and Customs by none other than Evan Thunder Bradfield himself, one half of the Recognized Game podcast crew. Make sure you check out Recognized Game with Evan and Caleb Bradfield every Sunday on TikTok, StreamYard, and on the Tyrant Sports Network. Tell them the MackTruck sent you. If you want merchandise, logo right there. If you want MackTruck merchandise, you can hit me up, or you can hit up Evan Thunder himself here on the TikTok stream, the Stratosphere. You can find him on the Whatnot app and BigCartel.com as well, and tell them the MackTruck sent you. And make sure you're getting your In Your Bag apparel clothes outside of just the MackTruck show, okay? Make sure you're doing that, because it's great stuff. I mean, literally. Like, I literally just took off a jacket that I had, and it's also 100 degrees in summertime, but if you know me, I'm wearing a sweatshirt 99% of the time. It's good quality stuff, and Evan has some of the best artists on his line doing things. Also, the Mamba Combat line. If you don't have any of the Mamba Combat line, I highly suggest you check it out. Two newest to the Mamba Combat line, Luka Doncic's character and Fever Hawk. And if you don't know who Fever Hawk is, you should know that is Caitlin Clark. Also with the two OGs and LeBron James and Stephen Wardell Chef Curry. Okay. Weaponized Air Raid and LaKing. Okay. So listen, make sure you're getting your products from In My Bag Apparel and tell them MackTruck sent you. Literally. But listen, tonight, in like 30 minutes, we have NFL football. It's the Hall of Fame game at Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium in Canton, Ohio. For those of you who've never been to Canton, Ohio, and you love football, I highly suggest you take a trip there. It's very family friendly. It's got all the NFL history that you could think of and ever want, and it's fantastic. I love it. You love it. And if you don't, I don't know why you like football, because I'm going back there every chance I get. In fact, my women's tackle league every year has our All-Star weekend in the Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium, literally the All-Star game, and all of the division championships, the D3, D2, and the Pro National Championship games are played there, and the All-Star game is also played there, along with all kinds of fun family activities. There was a flag tournament this year. It was just phenomenal. And if you didn't get to check it out, make sure you check out WFAProFootball.com, where you can get all the highlights from all the games, all the stats from this season, because now women's tackle season is over and we're gearing up for NFL and college football, which I can't wait, because like the Iowa Hawkeyes might actually look like they will be formidable. Either way, we're still talking about the Hall of Fame game that is tonight, again, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, Central Stadium Time, whatever you want to call it, on Peacock and NBC. The LA Chargers, San Diego Chargers, whatever you want to call them, the Chargers, the Bolt Gang, versus, and I'm just because I am me, those kittens from Detroit that play at Ford Field, the Detroit Lions or Detroit Kitties. I don't. The team from Detroit will be playing in the Hall of Fame Stadium Hall of Fame game tonight. The Lions are favored by 2, not quite a money line, and I'm kind of interested to know why, but obviously because it's a Hall of Fame game, I don't think they actually do sports betting books for Hall of Fame games or games that don't count towards like the regular season and postseason, that thing. Either way, we have football tonight. We have the WNBA tonight. I love it. You love it. That's why we're here talking sports. Again, thank you for joining me on the MackTruck podcast. Listen, I'm just glad to be back in a regular programming with you guys. Like, I've missed being on the platform. I've missed being able to share, share my thoughts and opinions and my sports talk and your sports talk and all the facts and all the things. Like, I love the fact that I am back here with you guys. Also, I'm gonna just throw this out on a limb, because it's OTAs, it's training camp, it's all the things right now as the NFL gears up for its season, gears up for preseason, all of the things. People coming back from vacation, and trades are happening, and all just things are happening within the NFL early on into the 2025 season. Literally, before I hopped on air, okay, I saw from Adam Schefter, Bleacher Report, and CBS Sports that Terry McLaurin, wide receiver for the Washington Commanders football team, has requested a trade out of nowhere. Haven't really gotten many details, just got the ticker from ESPN and all the other great things I just mentioned. Terry McLaurin has requested a trade from the Washington Commanders. And obviously, being a Dallas Cowboys fan, if you can't see it, Cowboy hat's right there. Got Betty Boop over here. In fact, I'll show TikTok. Betty Boop. Oh, you can't see it because of the logo. Ha, that sucks. But I have a big old Betty Boop Dallas Cowboys flag, literally right here. And you love to see it. And I'm not getting rid of it because I love Betty Boop and the Dallas Cowboys. So what you want to do about it? Anyhow, Terry McLaurin has requested a trade on top of the fact that now Noah Fant, who was the tight end in Seattle, is now tight end for Joe Burrow in the Cincinnati Bengals. I can't wait to see how that goes down. Frankly, I mean, obviously, Noah Fant, tight end extraordinaire from Tight End University, that is the University of Iowa. Noah Fant, TJ Hawkinson, George Kittle, Dallas Clark. I mean, I can keep going. And now we're talking about defense here. Okay, Adrian Claiborne, Jordan Bernstein, running back, Adam Robinson. Listen, okay, Cooper DeJean. I could keep going. Iowa produces good players. Iowa produces tangible players. Iowa produces solid, reliable, corn-fed boys that like to sling the rock and hit people. Noah Fant is one of those people. And I think with him getting a fresh start on a different team, I think he's going to flourish. And now that he has a quarterback who knows how to use his tight ends without actually just, oh, I want to use them as a decoy. Joe Burrow will throw to you if you get the chance. You got to catch it, though. And listen, I'm here for it. Also, in terms of Terry McLaurin, nothing would behoove me more to see him rocking the Navy and Star. Okay? Will that happen? Probably not. Everybody knows how Jerry Jones likes to work. He don't like to work. So, only one could dream about having Terry McLaurin on the Dallas Cowboys because I still need another wide receiver outside of George Pickens. And obviously, CeeDee Lamb is option one. So, CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, scary Terry McLaurin. That would be fire. I'm for it. And you're you're literally getting a new head coach in Brian Schottenheimer, son of football extraordinaire Marty Schottenheimer. Okay. So all kinds of good things are happening in the NFL, especially just like with it being training camps and all the things. There's going to be contract extensions, probably a little bit more free agency, probably people that signings from off waivers, things like that. So we got a lot more football to talk about within the next couple months. But as far as tonight, right now, like I said, Hall of Fame game in Tom Benson Stadium in Canton, Ohio. Chargers, Detroit Kitties, Detroit Lions, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, and NBC/Peacock. Okay, -2 in favor of the Detroit Lions. Now, one could only hope, and we're kind of just moving into a segue of college football for just a moment here. One could only hope that college football could take off the way that the NFL did before it made it split and came back together. If anybody watches the college football season in its entirety or sector of football, however you want to look at it, college football is expanding very, 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 very fast. And what I mean, I'm talking like we're breaking old school ways. We've got 17-year-olds coming out of high school straight to college, and they're not even legally an adult yet. When I mean that, I'm talking strictly Ryan Williams, star wide receiver for Kalen DeBoer and the Alabama Crimson Tide. Okay, like let's just get that together right now. Like, I can't even believe that college football is literally about to be around the corner. Like, there's been so many transfers, and there's just been so much movement in college football. It's literally like a mirror image of the NFL. And now we can't even say that it's not structured like the NFL because there are players in football with NIL deals, that's name, image, and likeness, sponsorships, getting paid to play college football, and not just with scholarships. And you love to see it because, again, just like I talked about with the WNBA, when the sport grows, the league grows. When the league grows, your revenue grows, your fandom grows. Like, it's a constant ladder of growth. And that's what you want to see when you're in the business of sports, or just business in general, whether it's around sports or not. And that's I think for me, that's probably the other thing that I just really love about summertime. There's just so much going on with basketball. Colleges are gearing up. It doesn't matter if it's college basketball, football, swimming, wrestling, gymnastics, doilies, Rubik's Cube. It don't matter. Like, everybody's gearing up for their next season, and there's just so much to talk about. You love it. I love it. We're here. Moving on into the next topic on the MackTruck podcast. This topic is brought to you by The Truth Barbering Shop, 6563 University Avenue, Winter Heights, Iowa. The beard and barber stylings of Gary Duke Williams, Chris Fats Dixon the barber, Xander Vo, and Sister Nisha Brown for all your hair braiding and beautician needs. Make sure you're hitting them on Booksy.com and or Facebook.com. It's on the MackTruck sent you because, again, if you weren't listening to me, you wouldn't know about their services. And they do great work for great people all over the Midwest and the Des Moines area. So make sure you're hitting them up and telling them MackTruck sent you. Like, share, and subscribe to everything Lame Nation as well. Shout out Gary Duke Williams. # Big Brother. Okay? Yes, I'm biased. Don't hate. He's one of the best rappers out here. And if you don't believe me, listen to his albums. I'll tell you that right now. Either way, we're moving on. Listen, in the world of sports, sometimes we have things and take actions or are part of things that we are not highly favorable for, rather. Specifically talking about Gilbert Arenas and the fact that he was just arrested last night on an alleged count of being part of an illegal poker ring in California. So he has been arrested, and if indicted, he will serve up to 5 years, I believe. That did come from ESPN and Bleacher Report. And I was kind of really interested and shocked because I watched Gilbert Arenas' podcast and show like religiously. I watch that show. In fact, I watch a lot of the shows that he is on. So when I saw this come across the ticker yesterday, I was like, what? Like, that's not true. And then, bang, like ESPN, Gilbert Arenas, former NBA and NBA star and Hall of Famer, arrested on the alleged indictment of an illegal poker ring. Like, what? Like, again, this goes back to my point a couple months ago. If you guys were listening and watching the show a couple months ago, I said the same thing about Devin Brooks, Devin Bridges rather, as far as the illegal betting that he was doing, and now he has been suspended from the league and is now serving time because, like, you get paid money to play sports. Let me make that clear. You get paid hundreds and thousands of dollars, millions of dollars to play the sport that you love and you are passionate about. Some of us are still trying to get there. Why do you feel the fucking need to be greedy? Why? Someone explain that to me. No explanation. Why are we doing stuff like this? Gilbert Arenas, you were one of the best players in the league, and you made millions of dollars, and you're still doing that with the experience that you had as a basketball player. You have one of the top shows in sports today. Why? Nothing irks me more. And now we're going to move into the next topic of Shannon Sharpe. Shannon Sharpe got fired from ESPN yesterday as well. For those of you who have been following the Shannon Sharpe scandal, a couple years ago, his ex-girlfriend filed a sexual assault charge on him, and 2 weeks ago, they just made a settlement for said lawsuit, and then he gets canned by ESPN. But this is not the first time this has happened. That's the unfortunate part about this thing. The fact that it happened one time or was alleged one time, very unfortunate. Still not excusable. I'm not going to pass any judgment because I wasn't there. I don't know the details, but the fact that you have now been alleged 2 times, yeah, you got to go. Saving grace is he still has both of his shows. He still is going to be out here making his coin and all the things, but now you got to do it from the networks that you've been a part of rather than one of the biggest sporting networks, that is the entertainment and sports programming network, that is ESPN, a Disney company. Let's just keep that in mind. For me, it's the fact, like, again, you got paid to play your sport as a job. You got paid millions of dollars and accolades and all the things to play your sport and have it be your 9 to 5. Why are we out here being greedy and doing stupid things? Like, I mean, we all do stupid things. We all mess up, whatever that looks like. However, why do we still keep running into issues and people, athletes want to beat up their significant others. Athletes want to make illegal betting scandals. Athletes want to do things like sexual assault. Like, why is this a thing? Like, why is this a pattern? Make it make sense. Please make it make sense. Somebody make it make sense, because at this point for me, not going to be able to damn do it. Not going to be able to do it. Either way, we're moving on into the final topic here on the MackTruck podcast. Again, this final topic is brought to you by you, the fans and supporters. I love you guys, and I appreciate you guys so much. So, presented to you by the Playbook Podcast, by none other than Prescott Kelly. You can find the Playbook Podcast on StreamYard, Facebook Live, Spotify, and the Sports Avengers network itself. If you're looking for a podcast or a show that just helps you learn to break down the logical stylings of football and playbook making and playmaking and just really all things untouched when it comes to the conversation of football, make sure you're hitting him up and make sure you tell him the MackTruck sent you, because P. Scott one of the best people out here when it comes to sports and opinions. And if you don't believe me, you need to go watch his show. You need to go watch his product. P. Scott is one of the GOATs out here. That's a thing. I don't care if you've never heard of him. If you are all things sports, you know about all these shows that I'm telling you because your sports don't stop. You're constantly looking for content. You're constantly looking for shows. P. Scott is one of those people, coupled with the Sip-Off by Megan Price, okay, the Queen of Hoops, all things basketball, Canadian basketball, EuroLeague, WNBA, NBA, men's and women's college, 5-on-5, Big Three, 3-on-3, Unrivaled, it doesn't matter. Anything basketball, you're listening and watching to the Sip-Off with the Queen of Hoops, Megan Price. Again, you can find her on StreamYard, Facebook Live, Spotify, and wherever else you get your audio streaming pleasure. Listen, we're talking about boxing now. We're talking about boxing now. We talked about a lot of boxing yesterday, but I wanted to save this specific fight and this specific topic for today. Claressa Shields now defends her undisputed heavyweight championship title for a second time. Beats Lonnie Daniels of Brazil and literally just demolishes her. It was like I watched the entire fight. And to be honest with you, I loved it. Loved it. After the fact that Lonnie Daniels was dancing around the ring for the first 2.5 rounds. Claressa Shields literally told her, you better bring your A game because I'm coming for you. Coming for you. Literally, I'm coming for you. And, you know, we're here for it. Like, she literally pieced her up. In fact, Claressa Shields won by unanimous decision. One judge literally had this fight card. Literally had this fight 100-90. Like, quite literally had this 100-90 as a scorecard. And the other two judges saw it 99-91. Like, that's crazy. If you've ever watched Claressa Shields box, not just fight MMA, but pure box, which is where her niche is, like she started as a pure boxer, was the only female in her Flint, Michigan local boxing club, and has been tearing it apart ever since. I love it. You love it. But the more important thing about this topic with Claressa Shields is the fact that Layla Ali still won't fight her. Don't talk all that mess, and then when Claressa Shields puts her money where your mouth is and gets you $15 million, which is about $7.5 million more than you're worth right now because you ain't boxed in over 2 damn decades. When she gets a sponsor, they shell out the $15 million, and they even shell out another extra million or two with accolades and revenue and venue. You still ain't had no response. So Layla Ali, don't come for Claressa Shields unless you actually go fight her, because she done kept up her part. In fact, she's literally still the fresher fighter because she's still actively fighting. Don't sit here and talk about you would piece her up and all this. You ain't fought in 2 decades, sis. So strap up the gloves and put your money where your mouth is, because this back and forth with y'all, and Claressa Shields has proven her point time and time again. Time and time again. It's agitating. But with that, that's all we got today, folks. Like I'm like I said, I'm thrilled to be back in the space, talking sports and running my mouth like I do. Okay, but we are done for the day. I will see you next week. Like I said, next week's docket, a lot more content because sports happen every day. It don't matter. But I appreciate you guys for joining me. Thank you again. Again, you can find this on Spotify, YouTube, pretty much any where you get your audio streaming pleasure. Make sure you check out the Tire Sports Network as well as Cumulus Media One Podcast Network. In the illustrious words of Ellen DeGeneres, be kind to one another. In the illustrious words of Pat McAfee, be a friend, tell a friend something nice. It can change your life. And in the illustrious words of Prescott Kelly and myself, stay up, stay blessed, stay tuned, and stay sporty. Have a good weekend. Be safe. We'll see you next week.